Hello everybody, this is Paul from Aquariums and Gardens. Hope you're all doing great today. Today's topic is about getting your plants ready to go outdoors in ground after they've been started indoors. So basically we're starting from our seeds that we started indoors, and I showed you in a prior video. We had a indoor growing tent with controlled light and a controlled temperature. So when you're moving those plants outdoors, you want to make sure that they are ready to move outdoors. It's not a matter of just, okay, they're big enough now, let's just pop them in the ground and see them thrive. Unfortunately, that doesn't happen that way. The plants are not used to full sun, and they're not used to the heat. I mean, obviously they're coming in from a indoor area where it's temperature controlled, the light is pretty consistent, it's either on or off in most cases. So when you're starting to get ready for putting them outdoors, then the issue becomes is now they have to deal with the full intensity of the sun, and also just the different environmental conditions as well too. So what you want to do is, before you actually just take your plants, put them outdoors, is harden them off. That basically means putting them outside for a day or two, letting them sit out overnight as well too, and just getting used to the sun, getting used to the different temperatures and temperature fluctuations. So that way when they are actually in the garden where you want them to go permanently, then they're ready and they're not going to have any shock. So basically the process is called hardening them off. So once they're big enough, once you think they're large enough, size-wise, you can see some of the ones I have here. A few of these are ones I started with seed indoors, and a few of these I bought from a local nursery here, because I didn't have any seeds for the bell peppers and the hot peppers. Other ones, I've got a bean plant here, a flowering plant, and a couple of mild peppers. So now that they're ready to go outdoors, I'm going to leave them out over here. And the first thing I'm going to do too is, I'm not just going to find a sunny spot, put them right in the sunny spot, and then hope that they survive. I'm going to actually, this is a shady area. You can kind of see it's shady over here. The sun is starting to come down this way. The house blocks off the sun from this side, and then once the sun will slowly shift over, it'll so that way they're outdoors for a little bit. The sun is not hitting them directly. Over time it'll get onto the plants, which is fine. We want that to happen eventually, but not right away. So ideally you want to monitor your plants too. So when you're putting them out, if you happen to be home and you can watch the plants, periodically, that's great, because they're still in these small potters over here. The water can evaporate pretty quickly. It can get used up pretty quickly. So you want to make sure that they're well watered. So that way they don't, once they get full sun, they're not struggling too much. Same time too is we need to make sure your outdoor temperatures are proper for the plants. Now here we are in May time frame, so our temperatures are fine over here. I don't have any worries about getting too cold overnight. Eventually we do want to, not even eventually, we do all want to leave these overnight as well too, so they get used to like I said, the fluctuations in temperatures, the highs and the lows. Now if you're still in an area or in a time where it's going to be cold at night, as long as it's not frost, temperatures where it might kill the plants, you're going to be fine. Usually I would recommend, if you're 45, 50 and above is your low, and you're not going to see any lower than that, then that's fine to leave them overnight. I did have these out earlier, but I brought them back in because we had some heavy storms coming in, and so that's one concern that I would share is, if you are going to have, pay attention to the weather. If you're going to have some heavy storms, thunderstorms, heavy winds, then maybe you don't want to leave them out overnight, because they're still in these, potters over here, these small little pots. They can be, this whole thing can get blown around, and then, that kind of ruins your plants over there. So, assuming the weather's cool, it's calm, not too crazy weather, then you're fine leaving them overnight. If they were going to be an issue, then like I said a couple days ago, we did have a thunderstorm, and then so I actually brought them in just to keep them in. The one raised bed garden that I'm ready to put them in is not fully ready. I need to get some fencing put around there, because we do have rabbits and deer that come by occasionally looking for a snack, and So just by having the fence up, and then I'll put them in, less likely to get eaten. So once the plants are ready to put in ground, then it's a matter of just finding the places that you're going to put them, the specific locations, putting them into the to the garden, and then giving them a good drink of water. At that time too, if you're using any beneficial bacteria, beneficial fungus that you're going to add alongside with it, especially the fungus that you use on the rooting. Be sure to add that too before you put it in the ground. Mix up your water, whatever beneficial bacteria or anything else. If you got any compost tea you want to add too. So you want to be gentle with it too, with the new plants. Best thing is just to give them straight water, and then that's good for the first time they're in ground. Later on, as they kind of getting established, their roots are expanding into the new soil that there are. Then if you want to add fertilizers or any other type of supplements to help them grow, then that's ideal at a later point in time. So once they're in the ground, then just it's a matter of monitoring them too. Their water demands, water needs might be a little higher as they're smaller. The roots aren't fully expanded, so they can't access all that water that is in the surrounding soil. So you need to pay attention to that. When should you be watering? Do they need more water more frequently? Usually when it's hotter, they are going to need more water frequently, and especially if you had any rain in the past couple of days. It's the drier it is, just keep an eye on them. As they get established, as the roots kind of spread out, then you've got, then your watering cycle can go to whatever the usual is with your other gardens, and depending on your plant needs. So that's what I do for the hardening process. It's pretty easy. It's just a matter of being patient and giving them some time, and if there's risks, taking them back in for whatever reason. So with that being said, that's all I've got for this video. If you do have any questions, feel free to add them in comments below, and hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll be seeing you next time. Thank you.